Thank you so much. I'm sure everybody's up and awake now. So I have 45 minutes to put you back to sleep. And towards the end of it, I'm going to ask questions so you wake up back again. So we'll keep doing this cycle to the rest of the evening till the time gets really late and Sunil comes up to say thank you. Okay, so we're going to have to talk about Google+. How many of you are on Google+? That's fantastic. You know, that's what I keep saying. Every time I go and ask this question, and I've been asking this question for over a year now, the number of hands going up has increased slowly. And I now see a majority of the hands going up and saying, are you on Google+? Yes, we've at least tried Google+ once, if not more. So we're going to have a chat today about Google+, which is primarily, as everybody understands, as a consumer offering, to why is it a business offering? And that's what we're going to try and spend the next half an hour, 40 minutes. I'm going to try and run through the presentation quickly, because I've heard in all the previous sessions that we've had, there's been a lot of questions. And I'm glad to sort of answer those questions and put to rest any apprehensions that anybody has about how to use the platform. So we'll run through this a little fast. So in very nice website I noticed about a small business. And you notice that a bunch of these are now coming up. As we scan what's happening around us, we see a lot of small businesses putting their website up. They're trying to make an online presence felt. And why is that? That's really because your customers are online, right? I mean, you go where your customers are, and that's the fundamental thing. Whether it's a leaflet in a newspaper, whether it's a big signage outside the shop, you do where your customers are to get them, and your customers are online today. The interesting thing is these customers are highly social in nature. So what are they doing online? They used to be doing email, they used to be searching earlier, and now they're massively social. Now, what does that really mean? We're saying that our customers online from both receiving and broadcasting. And that's the social space. They receive a lot of feedback. They're looking at what other users are saying about products, about services, about topics, and they want to get that entire enrichment about it. They go and ask for reviews. They're buying something new, they want to check out the reviews. How many times have you bought a car or a refrigerator or a television recently without going online to check about it? Very rare. We see a very high percentage of research online, buy offline happening in India now. The remaining half, which is broadcasting, is about expressing themselves. This could be about, I like this dry cleaning service. I hated the food at this McDonald's. It could be all about a positive review, a bad review. It's also about putting yourself up there and taking claim. It's not anymore about one reviewer from the Times of India who will review a movie, and that's what everybody's going to consume. It's about me going on, seeing a movie, and saying this is what I believe about the movie to all the world who's following me and expressing my opinion. And that's this entire social nature, which is the wave that needs to be sort of now utilized by small businesses. How do you sort of start talking to this customer who's out there listening to what others who have consumed your business are speaking about you, and then is willing to become a speaker of what he or she has felt about your business? That's really what social is really all about. It's not really one website, one service, and that's at the heart of what we do. If you step back to what Google does, our job's always been, let's get you the information around the world, and let's make sure it gets to you in the format that you really like it and it's useful for you. That's the fundamental of what Google does. Any service of ours, you can ladder back and say, why did Google introduce this service? To make sure that there's information out there, you can get that information easily and in an accessible manner. And when you look at it, I think what we've done now, when we stepped into Google+, is said, it's not just Google helping you anymore. So yes, Google's got engineers, Google's got servers, and we've been developing technology and algorithms which study what consumers do to try and serve you with what's the best possible information. Then he said, hey, what's better than asking you? Why try and predict and analyze that, oh, this is how somebody is looking for this information, so I should surface this result? Why not just ask you? And is there a way of collecting all the recommendations that you provide and using those to surface the most relevant information? So if I'm your friend and you're looking for a Chinese restaurant, obviously you'd prefer the recommendation I give versus a Google algorithm. And how can Google capture that information and present that to you so that to make the information of a Chinese restaurant closest to you more relevant? And that's really what Google+ does. Google+ is not a destination, it's a social spine that runs across all Google products. So if you notice, there is Google+ in search, there is Google+ in Gmail, there is Google+ in YouTube. Google+ is everywhere that Google, across everything that Google has. Google+ is there in AdWords too. I'm going to discuss that as we go along. So think about Google+ not as a destination, and that's a fundamental bedrock I want you to sort of think of as we go forward in this presentation. It's not a page that you go to. It's not a website that you go to. It's a layer that spreads across all that you do online. You go and search, and there's Google Plus in the back end trying to see what you think is right and recommending it to your friends and showing to you what your friends have recommended as search results. It's there in Gmail, allowing you to consume information, share information with your friends, rather than going and creating email groups or figuring out writing 15 email IDs in the in the to field because you want to send some communication to 15 people. It sits in YouTube. So you want to share something out, it shares it right from there. It ensures that your commentary is attached to the video as you speak it. So that's how the Google Plus spine works. It recommends stuff to you in terms of videos on YouTube based on what you've been seeing and what your friends have been consuming. So that's how the social spine works, and it really works to make sure the web becomes more personalized and better for you. That's the bedrock of what Google Plus is. So there's a quick short video, if you can play it, which just tells you about the various facets of Google Plus. And post this, I'm going to try and run through all of them a little faster, assuming you've seen this video. And this is the first 5-minute wake-up call after the lunch, right? So just hope it goes through this video. Quick snapshot, and I'm just going to ask you to remember a few things from this video. There's something called circles, there's something called hangouts, there's something called plus ones, and we're just going to jump into all of those and how a business can use all of this as Google Plus. What you saw is a profile picture towards the end as an individual. We similarly have something called plus pages for businesses. So a business can go ahead and set up a plus page on Google Plus, and that can be their destination on Google Plus. This is just a quick check on stats. We have like some 250 million people now globally. We are just over a year old as a service. And there are 1 million plus brand pages. These are businesses, these are small businesses, medium businesses, large businesses. The top 500 global brands are there on Google Plus. In fact, they were on Google Plus in the first 2.5 months of the launch of the product. So we should sort of just look at some of the traction that's been happening around this platform, and I'll take questions around this later on. A big question now, why should you be on Google Plus? Why should your business be on Google Plus? Why should you take out the 10-15 minutes it takes every day to manage a social presence, add 15 minutes of Google Plus on that? What's the benefit to you? So really 3 large things. Engagement. Your followers, your fans, your customers, Google Plus allows you a better way to engage with them. Discoverability. How do people find you? They find you on search, they find you on maps. Google Plus helps you in the discoverability of all of your small business. And accountability. You want to make sure those 15 minutes of time or 2 hours of a resource that you've invested in is something that's adding value. Putting up a page, making the post, is that adding value back to your business or not? To make sure that you have that accountability, there's analytics support that goes behind Google Plus. That's the bedrock of Google Plus for small businesses. We'll start with engagement. And this is really a bunch of things that exist, which I'm not going to go into each one of them in detail. But that's all that you can find if you go look for Google+. This is all the stuff that's relevant from a business perspective. Pages, hangouts, and circles, which allow you to engage. There's a way of promoting your business, which is all about the +1 button, the direct connect, which allows your pages to appear in Google search, and this entire piece of analytics and ripples, which allows you to see who's doing what on your page and how can you improve it. So circles and hangouts. Circles is essentially how we believe you actually behave, right? You have VIP customers, you have customers who stay close by, you have customers who are pesky, you have customers who are really sweet, right? There are all sorts of customers. For a grocery store, there is that old lady who calls up and screams about delivery never happening on time, even if you've sent the delivery boy right the minute the phone call came. There is always going to be a man who orders very gently and very sweetly. So there's a bunch of customers you always have. There are customers who are close by, far away, customers who come regularly. How do you categorize these customers? That's what Circles helps you to do. So this is an interesting thing that you notice. Once somebody's added your business and started following your business, you at the back end can add them to a circle of a specific type. Now this is completely determined by you. You could choose to, like I said, make them the irritating customers, the happy customers. You could make them the customers from outside Bombay, the customers from within Bombay. You could choose various forms of categorization. And what that really helps, this categorization of circles moves across your page, it moves into your Gmail, so it exists across your entire presence on Google. Now that's very useful because if you're trying to share something, say you have a new product, and you want to send that picture out to the customers who are only in Bombay because it's available only in, you can ship it only in Bombay, not anywhere else. You can just in one click from within Gmail, share it to only that circle of people who are within, those set of customers who are within Bombay. Rather than opening up a CRM database, punching in 35 email IDs, and then sending a picture out to them. It's one click. So the entire segregation effort that you do about customers in circles transfers across your entire business management online. You can have more relevant conversations. An interesting example of a coffee shop that we have in the US where they've sort of customized their circles and put customers into different brackets. They know the customers who come early in the morning. They know students who just come and hang around in the coffee shop. And therefore, they've put different circles. And they can send very specific targeted messaging to them. Now, this is again, if you look at social media, I said there is about receptibility and broadcast. And I'm sure when you open up your streams on Facebook, on Twitter, on Google+, there is tons of stuff. I don't know how many of you manage to go through every post that happens and comes on your wall or your stream. There's just too many things floating by. There's spam. And that what often it does is it makes you lose the message that's coming out. Brands in Facebook at times don't even realize that consumers have muted their posts because that's what customers do. If you give somebody a half-page long post because you have to make it relevant to everybody out there, you'll realize after some time that the posts are getting muted. So before Google, I was working for I started a company called Deals in You, and we had a sister concern called Fashion in You. And if you were to look, somebody ever followed Fashion in You's Facebook community, you'd notice that the posts started at 3 lines. As the community grew up to like 500,000 strong and so forth, it became 7 lines, 6 lines, 7 photographs, and slowly on a regular PC, your entire screen on Facebook was covered with just that one post from Fashion in You, which would crowd and complete your stream. In a period of time, we realized the click-throughs were going low. The reason was and then we started asking questions because there was no other way of checking this out, and people were muting the post. As a brand, we never got to know that, but we were spamming them like nobody's business. Now, if I knew, as Fashion in You, that there is this set of women who are my buyers who are interested in handbags, and there is a set of men over here, men who are interested in perfumes, why wouldn't I send them specific communication? Why would I send a communication on a sale on 75% off on men's perfumes to a woman who's interested in handbags? That's the spam that you can avoid if you have circles, and you can therefore have much more relevant conversations with your audience. This is just an example of how Intel did this right in the beginning. They actually asked consumers to say, which circle do you think you belong in? Are you the guys who want the cutting-edge technology news? Are you the guys who want technology made deconstructed in layman terms? Tell us what you want, and we'll give you information the way that is. And that's just an interesting way of how circles was used. Hangouts. I'm very, very passionate about Hangouts. I see Hangouts as customer interaction, and I see Hangouts as completely providing a full video conferencing backbone to every individual out there who wants to. So if you are running a small business, you have 3 offices, this is your video conferencing backbone. No more camera equipment, no fancy AV equipment. Just turn your PC in. All of your offices can log on. You can have conversations. You can do meetings. You can take notes on the side. Within a Hangout, you can start Google Docs, start creating a document, edit a quote proposal, whatever you want to. And you can all do this within a Hangout very easily with standard bandwidth that's available in everybody's offices and homes. That's what Hangout does. That's one big thing about Hangouts. It just enables you to have much more effective meetings within your organization. I actually know of 3 or 4 large IT businesses, companies like Lenovo, who have now started using Hangouts with their agencies just to prevent the travel time in Bangalore. We do it all the time, but I was very surprised when I was having a recent conversation with them and I said, listen, we just do most of our meetings on Hangouts now. All our agencies come on Hangouts. Who's going to do all the entire travel in Bangalore? And so there's a lot of business use just for using Hangouts that's internal that is possible. Second is always to obviously have conversation with your customers. We've seen businesses who, small businesses who really sort of the strength of which is the expertise of the owner. There's a consultant, there's a doctor, there's a tax consultant. It's the expertise of that individual which runs that business. The business does not run because it's Mehta and Sons. It runs because Mr. Rajan Mehta is a fantastic tax consultant. And there are times that he wants to go out and talk to his customers. He can just invite them to a hangout. He can make sure his business goes out from the vicinity of Thane, if he was sitting in Thane, to spread across Bombay, to go outside Bombay to Pune, because now he is not constricted by the geographical location of how he can meet his customers. The best part about this is that you can turn on something called Hangout on Air, and what that allows you to broadcast to outside of 10 people. So in a Hangout, you have 10 people who can have a simultaneous conversation. You turn on something called Hangout on Air, all the conversations you're having will be broadcasted live on your YouTube channel. And that goes into a recording. So you finish a half-an-hour conversation, a 30-minute recording within the next half an hour will appear on YouTube forever. Now think of it as content you're creating. It's not just small businesses. I've talked to Pepsi, I've talked to a lot of large brands, and they say, how do we create YouTube content? Because we go to our standard ad agencies, they'll ask me for 1 crore for making a film. I can't put 10 1 crore films on YouTube. How do I create content for YouTube? This is how you create content for YouTube. You're an insurance agent, you're an insurance broker. Go ahead and have every Thursday evening, set up a time at say 7 o'clock and say, I'm going to have a discussion on insurance policies today. First Friday, car insurance. Second Friday, kids insurance. Third Friday, auto insurance. You keep doing this, you keep answering questions. Over a period of time, your YouTube channel has content on kids insurance, this insurance, that insurance, and you're seeing you have content. Who said you don't have video content? You have video content, you have real customers asking you questions. It's as frank as it can ever be. That's what consumers of the internet want. The entire social culture is about what is the other consumer saying about a brand. How is the other consumer interacting with the brand? It's not about the brand saying something in a prescribed ad format. That's what Hangouts do for you. And the other turn of it, which is very personal, is like I said, a Hangout on Air effectively means that each one of you out there can be a broadcasting station in itself. There's no control, there's no OB-WAN required, there's no satellite uplink required, there's no studio required. You are a broadcasting station yourself. You want to talk about corruption, you want to talk about origami, you want to talk about cooking. It's your choice. You are your broadcasting station. And we have, in fact, a very popular lady in Chennai who runs cooking classes. So she started with a website, she came on, and now she runs weekly cooking classes on Hangouts, and she charges people. She'll let you into her Hangout only if you've paid her some money up front, and she'll say, fine, I'll open up the Hangout only to those 7 or 10 people who've paid me. And she's running her business on Hangouts now. Now she's able to progress beyond Chennai, where she would have physically called somebody into a classroom after renting out space and da-da-da. Now she teaches people in Saudi Arabia, in the US, in London about how to do Tamil cooking. That's the power of Hangouts and really about how you use them. Yes? What? On your website, you have an e-commerce engine in which you're taking charges. That's as per the standard e-commerce rules. You're just telling somebody that I will let only 7 people into the Hangout if you've paid me. And that you can't accept a payment within the Google Plus platform. You don't have an e-payment gateway set up in the Google Plus platform, but you can take that transaction anywhere else. So the next one, this was all about what you could do with customers, right, with Google Plus. But the big part is the customers have to find you. How does a customer know you exist? Whether it's a shop, whether it's a business, customers have to find you. How does Google Plus help you in that entire promotion of your business, the discoverability of your business? And that's where something called Direct Connect comes in. You set up a Google Plus page, we give you a little bit of code, put that code on your website. And as Google search engines go and index your website the next time around, they'll say, oh, this website has this verified Google Plus page. They match. So next time somebody puts that up in the search box, we'll automatically give information on your plus page right on top, just alongside your web page. So the difference in this is now how many businesses have websites that are updated daily or hourly? I don't know of too many small businesses which update their websites that fast. I don't know too many large businesses which update their websites so fast. But can you update a post on your social page within an hour, within the day, which are daily? Obviously. So you want that most relevant piece to go back right up and someone's searching for you. If you're a bakery and you've introduced eggless cakes, then you want that to be right up there versus your standard website. Connecting the two ensures that Google search will surface that when somebody is searching for it. And that's the benefit of using Direct Connect and discoverability on search. The other is get Google Plus back into your website. It's really simple. Simple pieces of badges, etc. are available. Just make sure they're mentioned on your website. This is very simple code. It doesn't take anything. Copy paste a code and a small button will appear. And this will start. You can start having people who come to your website, consumers, to start following you on Google Plus. So that the message of or what's the latest updated message you want to send out will start reaching their inboxes, their streams immediately. So you can make them follow your website right from your Plus page right from your website. What we've also seen interestingly is that people who implement that larger badge at the bottom, which also shows a +1, +7, 6, 4, 5, etc. For websites which have a decent amount of traffic, almost 40% of that traffic gets converted to followership on Google Plus, which is a very large number. Now you have to spend money, right? There's a cost per click. Whether it's on us, whether it's on any other platform, to get that one visitor to your website. But that one visit, if you convert into a followership, you don't have to pay any more to get that person back to having a conversation with your brand. So you spend 8 rupees or 10 rupees or 15 rupees to get that one click, and you get that. If you want to get this person back again, you'll again spend that 15 rupees because nobody remembers the URLs of websites. That's the reality. The maximum queries on the Google search engine are for things like Hotmail, Facebook, Gmail. People don't even remember .coms of these. They just go into the search box and type. So you expect a small business website to remember, it's impossible. That's what people are going to do. So every time you're there, you'll incur click charges. Why do that? Just make sure they start following you. Convert every visit on your website into a social following so that your message can go out to them without spending on clicks again. +1s. This is an outdated button. We need to change this. There's a nice red button now that exists. So the +1 is your social currency. Now, I'm not equating a +1 to a Facebook like, which is what most people end up comparing it to. Simply because a +1 is an affirmative action from a user about your brand or your brand's communication saying, I like this thing. It's not about converting it into a follower, which is very different from what happens in Facebook. You click like, you become a follower. It's very different. The reason we have it differently is because we believe a brand doesn't exist in one location. A brand exists in multiple forms and comes to a consumer in different forms. You do ads. A consumer might like your ad or hate your ad. If they like your ad, they might +1 your ad. So they've never visited your website. They haven't visited your Plus page, but they've seen a communication of yours, and they +1 that because they think, oh, this ad was really nice. This ad made sense to me. I might not click on it right now, but I remember this ad for the fact that it was creative, it was relevant to me, and I think if there's anybody else in my friend circle, they should also see this ad. So they +1 it. That's how the +1 works. It basically goes back to Google search. So if you notice, right over here, if there is an ad that's happened on top, which is for the Grand Hotel in Madrid, and there's a +1 button over there, if someone's +1'd it and you are searching, you will notice your friend circles if anybody is +1'd it there with their faces over there. Now imagine this entire scenario. You're searching for a restaurant or is available to you that stays with you. The best part is all of these +1s get aggregated on your page. Now imagine this. You are running one campaign today on search, which is for, say, I'm going to go default back to bakery. Say you're running a campaign which says birthday cakes. This is your first search campaign ever on Google, but you made sure you had a Google Plus page, you turned on social extensions in your AdWords campaign, so there's a small +1 button appearing below all your ads. You got 500 +1s. So you got 500 people who said, hey, this was very relevant. I wanted to hear about eggless cakes. This is really fantastic. Great ad, great website. I like it. +1 started happening. 10 happened on your website. 30 happened on the Google Plus page, 400 happened on the search ads that you were serving out, some display, some text. You had 500 plus ones. You stop, you finish that campaign. 3 months later, you start a new campaign for Valentine cakes. That ad of yours will start with 500 plus ones. Now imagine your ad with 500 plus ones competing against somebody else's ad with 0 plus ones. It could be a larger competitor, it could be a smaller competitor, it could be a new competitor or an old competitor. But there's your ad saying Valentine cakes with somebody else saying Valentine cakes, but yours has 500 plus ones. Who do you think the consumer is going to click? It's yours. That's the power of plus ones. So it's a currency that stays with you. It doesn't go away. It's your brand's value literally. So it's important to invest in that. And this is the average search CTR lift we've seen, up to 10%. I've seen cases of it being just below 10. I've seen cases being up to as high as 20%. And this is not for super large brands. This is for mid-sized brands. These are for small brands. A 10 to 20% CTR lift is a fantastic efficiency increase in what you spend on AdWords with Google. So this is the impact of what plus ones do. And it's really simple. I'm going to repeat this because I've been asked about steps earlier. Make sure you have a Google Plus page. Make sure you get it verified so you have a small tick to it. And no other business can stake claim to your business. So it's your original page. Make sure you sort of put on social extensions in your AdWords account. There's a small checkbox, click it, and that's it. It's not too tough. It's fairly simple to do. You can get it going that way. That's really about plus ones. Quickly about measurement. So you've got people who are following you. You want to see what the impact of what you've done. We've got 2 quick things on this, ripples. Every post that you do, you can click on the post and see which of your fans have shared it, which of the fans have commented on it, in how much time. Now, if you've got fans who are resharing it, who have further reshares. So imagine a post by the Dalai Lama. What that big circle for Vik Gandotra shows is that when Dalai Lama's post was shared by Vik Gandotra also had a large number of followers. And therefore, Vik Gandotra is a big fan of Dalai Lama versus maybe there's other smaller ones, at least from a social perspective. So if I was a small business, I would go talk to these big 5-6 circles and make them feel really happy about me because I know that their influence is on so many others. They are your power influencers online. How easy is it for you to today say, these are the 5 women who determine whether more women will come to my bakery and buy cakes? How easy is it for you to identify that? It's not. This is a single click away. You'll see the circles, you'll see the sphere of influence, and you know, these are the men or women I need to be talking to better. And it's simple. You can just talk to those 5 or 10 people on the phone and make them feel happy about you. As a small business, that's how you can start building your relationships. And then there's webmaster tools. If you have the +1 button on your website, you'll know where has somebody come from, what's their broad demographic, because somewhere the +1 is assigned in existence. So you'll start knowing the average demographics on your website once you have the +1s hitting your website. And that'll sort of show up in the analytics report, the webmaster report that you have. So that's really all about Google Plus per se, circles, hangouts, etc. We recently introduced something called Google Plus Local. Now, does anybody ever have a retail business? So there are a couple of retail businesses back up there. Now, how does a retail business get discovered? I mean, you invest so much on the shop front, you put like big signages up there, or you put flyers in the newspaper. We get a multi-million level of queries on maps every day in Google, just from India. I'm not talking about the global numbers. The global numbers are in billions. Just in India, there are like 2-digit million queries on maps. When somebody's typing in restaurant, or somebody's typing in school, or let me say play school, restaurant, is your business showing up or not? And if your business is showing up again with somebody else's business, why would somebody come to your Chinese restaurant or your play school versus somebody else? And that's what Google Plus Local does. Google Plus Local takes what Google Maps used to offer, which was a web page for every business, which is on Google Maps, and has put a complete layer of social and interactivity on top of it. So there's a quick video on Google Plus Local, if you can cue it from the desk over there, from the console. And I'll just tell you what Google Plus Local is.
Burning like an open nerve, I'm running like a dog, all and only young. I don't know how come, but the effect of you on me is too much. Bro, it's like you're speaking code, I'm only 3 months sober, swear I'm so close to buying a bottle a day. Despite all my rage, I'm just a thoughts that come and crowd my mind, and they're never kind. It happens all the time, but it's just the hardest thing to do. So I guess it's goodbye, brother, goodbye, rock and roll. This is goodbye to the only life I know. It's a shame you couldn't just say you word and
I think we've played once. Thanks. So let's look at what Google Plus Local does, right? I mean, Google Plus Local exists across 4 platforms for us. It starts at Google Plus, it gets into Google Search, it gets into Maps, and it's completely built back into the mobile experience and very strongly sold both in Android and iOS. What it really does is fairly simple. You have a Google Maps location for your business, which you have claimed. You automatically generate a Plus page for it. It's auto-generated for you. That Plus page will appear if you search for that business or that type of business on Google Search or on Google Maps, and that's how the business reflection is. If it's on Google Search and you're searching for a certain restaurants in a certain area, you notice a bunch of results. On the right-hand side, you notice a big panel that comes out. That's the right-hand side of search over there. And that big panel will have location, the map location will have photographs of your business, it will have a review rating of what customers previously have reviewed your business as. And actually details from your page as to the operational hours. Do you start happy hours at 7 o'clock? Do you shut at 9 o'clock? And so forth. In Google Maps, if you're searching, again, this is how your map tile, your map above the peg, shows up all of that information with a rating right up there with your contact information. So all that information, the rich information that you're providing on the Plus page starts getting pulled into the Google search engine and the Google Maps engine. And it starts displaying over there. Now, this is how you can start discovering it. Discovery is really the big thing. On search, obviously, if I were to go search restaurants in Bombay, I'll get like a truckload of restaurants. Now, how do I go sift through those 175 restaurants which will show up? Obviously, if some of my friends have gone out recently and have commented on it and reviewed it, they'll start showing up for me. And the experience is best exemplified on mobile. This is what happens. I'm in Maps. I click on Local, which is the second top mark over there. And I say, for example, I'm just looking for it. So this is where, for example, our office is in Gurgaon. And we say DLF Tower City, and we say we're looking for restaurants. Automatically, you'll see from your circles, above everything else. So this is now 4 or 5 names of restaurants coming in the immediate vicinity that I'm currently in, located through my GPS, saying these are the restaurants that people in your circles have recently visited, commented on, recommended. And you see a few names over there. There's, for example, a Below 8 over there. If I were to click on Below 8, I actually see restaurants all around. So there's Nuba, there's Below 8, there's Pizza Hut, there's Papa John's. But you notice there's suddenly a map tile of somebody who's in my circle, in this case, obviously, it's me, who's rated the restaurant better than the others. So I've rated it good. So yesterday when I was looking at a few bars, I came across 7 bars in Bandra, and I noticed 3 of them had ratings from our agency, which is also in Bandra, as rated as really good, or one was rated really bad. As soon as I saw something was rated bad, I decided not to go there. And then I chose between the 2 which were rated good and went there. So it's a clear, it's a comment from somebody you know about the place that you're thinking of going to. When you have 10 options, you rather, you pick up the phone and say, "Kis mein jana hai? Which one do I go to?" Rather than that, you have it on your phone, you have it in your device right up front. That's the benefit of local. So this is really the new experience. I won't spend too much time on it, and I can address this in the questions later on. But essentially, all your reviews are there. As a business owner, if you have claimed, you can reply to the reviews. If somebody said, "Listen, I came to the restaurant, but it was super hot," you as an owner can come back and say, "Listen, sorry, my air conditioning was junk that day. I apologize. Why don't you come back again and have a complimentary meal?" A comment like that is visible to everybody else. What that does is it puts so much confidence back in you as a business establishment, saying that you really look forward and care for your customers, even if they won't give a bad rating. Your customer can actually go back and change the rating. That's the best part. So even if I've rated something 30 days ago and I rated something bad, it took 15 days for the owner to come back to me and apologize, say, "Listen, I'm sorry, here's something complimentary," whatever a business might do to sort of make that rating go better. I can go back and change my rating and actually make my edit and say, "It was bad, but somebody reached out to me and said all of this." And it's a genuine consumer rating about that business. And that's what this allows you to do. The other thing is how it gets suggested to everybody, right? I said it's on the phone, on the PC also it gets suggested. Similarly, you signed on, all your friends, etc., will start showing through in the search. So that's really Google Plus Local. So if I were to look at Google Plus and really talk about the two big things, if you're a retail business, Google Plus Local is essential. I mean, why would you not want to have your business on Google Maps? And if you have taken the effort of making sure your business is there on Google Maps with the right telephone number, etc., why will you not make sure that people's reviews of those are visible to everybody else? And when someone's searching for your in the same category of businesses, if you are one option and you've earned the trust and credibility of your customers, why does it not reflect online? So you become much more than a meaningless link in blue on a big sheet of search results page to somebody who's got trust from customers who somebody might have recommended. Why would you not do that? I mean, actually, I don't even ask a question of when will you do it. I ask a question of why would you not do it? It's a sitting duck for a retail business. For a non-retail business, look at the main Google Plus piece. You could be selling rubber seals for water pumps for agriculture, and you'd still see the benefit of +1s on your ads. It varies really. I mean, it could be a B2B business, it could be a B2C business, but there's a wide variation of what you can do and run into. So that's really what Google Plus is. It's an evolving product, so there's a lot more stuff coming. I think we introduce a new feature in Google Plus almost every 6 weeks, new variations almost every 4 weeks. That's how fast the product's evolving. And there's a lot more that's what you've seen coming this way. So that's Google Plus. Any questions now? I bang on before I said anything. Do you have any mics around? Oh, okay.
Okay, I have two questions actually. The one you said that to controlling the reviews by giving some freebies or giving a complimentary, but if something happens like having a competitors posting some negative comments by having his whole staff, 15, 20 people going on our business and posting some negative reviews, is there any way to get them controlled?
Absolutely. And if you think that's the case, anything which is not just reviews, right? Somebody's come on your page and written some crap around it. Just go and push it into spam. It'll immediately get checked.
It will get removed?
Yes. So in spam will get checked, they'll check back, and if they think there is somebody who's not doing something which is appropriate, it will be removed.
Okay, and another question is regarding ROI. As you know, there's a small business are much more concerned about ROIs. You said that we can track whatever has been, engagement on our business profile in our Google Webmaster Tools, as well as in our last session, we have seen that social sharing is also been possible at Google Analytics. Yes. Is there any way to have this analytics data in Webmaster Tools to have everything in one place, then going back to analytics, checking what is the engagement happening there, and coming back to Webmaster Tools and looking that what is happening and what is the engagement and etc. things happening at Webmaster
So let me just tell you what Webmaster Tools tell you. Webmaster Tools, very specific from this perspective, the +1 button's inclusion on your website gives you specific details of source of traffic for the +1, and it gives you the demographic details. Analytics at times is challenged to give you demographic details of visitors because there is no signed in existence of the visitor that comes to your site, right? Because a +1 is a signed in existence somewhere, you cannot be +1ing without signing in, right? What happens is we are able to provide an aggregate information to you of demographics. Now that's about your site visit. It might not be about something else that you have running somewhere else. So it's tough for analytics to sort of port that into Webmaster, the Webmaster component into the analytics tool. That's the reason.
Is this anything possible in the future to have both data?
So our products are improving all the time, right? I mean, you've seen analytics, it never had social earlier.
Right.
We introduced social because we felt it's become so much more relevant. So if we start seeing the relevance of this building up and we can see some interesting data magic that can appear if we provide this in analytics for you, obviously we look into it.
Thank you.
There are two questions. Yeah.
Can you talk about rel equal to author tag?
Sorry?
Rel equals author tag, which has been released by Google in the past 6 months or 1 year or something. So that what happens is when we search for a blog post, sometimes a snippet of the profile picture of the Google Plus page of the author of that blog post comes with it. So earlier we used to have pages of the author in which descriptions of their, in case it was a guest post, descriptions of their website or of their Twitter or Facebook handles are shown. But now people are using this rel equal to author tag. So how important is it?
So there's no need for a tab. There's been a lot of something called power searching in Google. In fact, we did one session which was almost around 12, 13 hours on Hangouts recently, and India was one of the largest participants. We should be holding the next session soon. That's what you're talking about, the tel tabs and everything was largely power searching. But we've seen a lot of people using that, and what we've done is we've put that into main search. So the rollout of the product is still not complete internationally, but if you go to searching on google.com versus .co.in, you notice something called knowledge panels appearing on the right side. Whether you search for a movie, whether you search for an author, what we're doing is we're looking at the critical pieces of information that exist on that author, and whether it's a pick from Wikipedia, whether it's a pick from their blog profile, whether it's the pick from their Google Plus page as the last post, we'll see the most relevant conversations happening around that individual and pull that back up for you. And that'll become the knowledge panel. So that's the new form that's happening. There's no specialized clicking etc. that needs to happen. If it's a personality or an entity which we believe has enough web presence, we automatically generate the knowledge panel for it. So as a user, if I'm searching for, say, Shah Rukh Khan, I'll know that Shah Rukh Khan is an actor. This is his, some of his last releases, his last post from his Google Plus page, and a brief snippet from his Wikipedia profile. And they'll automatically show up as a knowledge panel, so you don't have to go clicking through 7 links to figure out what you want about it.
So the author or the owner of the blog doesn't have to do anything extra to do it. Google will automatically do.
If you have significant web presence, we think you're an entity that people are searching for, we'll auto-generate a knowledge panel for you.
Thank you.
Obviously, we prioritize, right? So, sorry, there was a question there first. So let me see, I think the question is, why do we have +1 and why do we have add to circle? Simply because if you notice, we have +1 in a lot of places. Like I mentioned, your GDN ad, your search ad, your search results link, all have the +1 buttons over there, which connect back. Now, I might say I like the ad because I think it's very relevant, but I don't necessarily want to keep having a conversation with you as a brand, and therefore I will do a +1. If I want to have a conversation with you as a brand, which is a much more intense relationship, then I'll start following you. So we've basically given a consumer 2 levels of appreciation. One is a very impulsive thing, right? I like an ad, I like a creative, I found some search result useful, and I say +1 because it's something which impulsively I've said I like this, so I'm +1ing it. Second is, no, I actually want to follow what this guy does. And therefore, I will make the conscious effort of saying follow or add me to follow and add me to your circles. I'll do that because then I want to hear constantly what this brand is saying or what this business is saying. The difference is to ensure that the people who follow you, your fan count is not a reflection of your social value, because you get lots of spammy fans, right? It's very easy to get 100,000 fans on Facebook. It doesn't take anything. I know people who sell fans at 3 rupees a fan also. So, right? Those are very easy to get. I mean, the point is, as a brand, does 100,000 fans do something for you? If the fans are not even interacting, if you have like a 2% interaction rate on your posts, that's a wasted sense of money somewhere. And you've invested in getting those. Even if it's like 100,000, 3 into 100,000 rupees, a lot of money for a small business.
But to start with, Google Plus is still something new for Indian audience. As a market, it actually becomes difficult for me to what to communicate to my audience. There are actually 2 call of action. One is +1, one is circle. Can we do something if somebody actually?
So let me tell you how to look at this. When you have your online presence, your advertising, like I said, or where your website gets indexed organically and presents some information, that is all +1, right? That is not a place for you to ask somebody to follow you. Nobody wants to see an ad and follow, right? That's not the case. And if they want to, then they will click on you and start following you. That's how you use +1. +1, like I said, is an impulsive point of, I think this brand has said, or this business has said something nice, or which I found relevant. It's building your trust graph. Followership is building conversations with people who are really keen with you. There's two different things. If somebody is landing on your website, somebody is landing on your Plus page, that's the time you ask them to start following you, because they have invested in the effort of clicking through on a communication that you have sent and come back to one of your resting locations. Right? I treat your website as your house. Your Plus page, your Facebook page, etc., are your branch offices and so forth, literally. That's how the existence is in the virtual world, right? So if somebody's taken the effort of coming to your office or your house, obviously that's a different relationship. Ask them to then have a conversation with you regularly. But if somebody's just seen a hoarding of yours and said, oh, this is a nice hoarding, good work, you don't want to have a conversation with that person. You don't want to spam that person. And that's the fundamental difference between Plus One and Add to Circle. I hope that clarifies. You had a question?
In fact, I have two questions. The first question is, somewhere you mentioned that if you include a link to your Google Plus business page in the AdWords, the total number of plus ones on the business page will add up for each and every advertisement, different advertisement. So does this mean that instead of including the links to our websites or some other landing pages which are non-G Plus business pages, or should I say the other way, does the quality score increases if we provide a link to a Google Plus business page?
Okay, I'm going to try and rephrase the question and so that everybody is clear. You talked about the fact that there are plus ones which are appearing in ads which get aggregated on the Google Plus business page or Plus page of your business. And you're saying that therefore should you not put your website link over there and instead just put the plus one button. That's question one. Question two was, does this impact the quality score? So I'm just going to go back on this. Can you have the presentation back on, please? I actually want to show you what it looks like. So on your ad, whether it's a display ad or a text ad, there is no reason for you to compromise on your website link. There's a small button that appears for plus one, and let me see if it's here. Okay. If you saw this Grand Hotel in Madrid,
Yeah.
think of this as an ad.
Okay.
It has the Grand Hotel in Madrid, special packages are both links, right? You see a plus one button on the top right?
Okay.
That's something that we turn on by default from our end. So in your AdWords account, you have something called social extension. Make a plus page, send it to Google for verification. Once we've said this is the verified business page for this business, then when you check that small button in AdWords, this plus button will start appearing across all your communication. A consumer can look at this and say, oh wow, Spain, this is really interesting, it's very nice. Oh, somebody I know was looking at this, maybe they'll find it, and I plus one it. This doesn't get counted as a click. We won't charge you the cost per click on somebody clicking the plus one. So you've earned the trust of an impression. Up till now, the impressions were not adding any value for you till the time there was a click, right? Now that impression has given you value because somebody's done a plus one and said, I trust this, I like this. That's your trust graph that's happening. So both your link and the plus one can exist parallelly. I hope that answers the first question. Okay. Second, quality score. The quality score is a function of a lot of signals. If I were to tell you what quality score, if I could explain it to you today right now, it'll be amazing. I don't think I can. So what it does, however, is like I said, I told you the net impact. Why do you want your quality score to increase? Because your ad should appear higher, it'll get more clicks, CTR will improve. I mentioned the fact that if you have plus ones, your CTR increases. Now that's not because of quality score. It's a simple thing. On a page full of blue and white text, blue text, black text, just lines, if you see a small photograph of somebody you know saying I plus one this, automatically it'll leap out. It's not just your ads but also your organic search results. If your website has been plus one, and if you are searching and you and I are in the same circle and you notice my face over there recommending a say certain restaurant or another restaurant or a certain business or another restaurant, your propensity to click on me is higher because I've recommended it there, right? Similarly for ads, if I see two ads for say car insurance providers in Bombay and I see one which has 5,000 plus ones and the other which has only 200 plus ones, which one will I click on? Most probably the 5,000 one, right? That's how your CTR increases, which is why it's relevant to invest in turning on social extension and start building that graph. Like I said, it stays with you. What you earn today stays with you forever. That +1 is staying with you forever. It's an asset that you've created for your brand. So no quality score increase, but a definite CTR increase.
The other question was related to what my friend also said. How do we motivate our followers or our friends to bring them to G+?
So, I don't think you need to motivate people to come to Google+.
Because I see many technical people discussing technical things or maybe sharing photographs.
Photographs is huge in Google+. I completely agree with you. But I don't think, we've got cookery, we've got photographs, we've got travel, we've got moms, we've got cricket, Bollywood. Everything that you see in the social space, you've got that. I think the point really is, do you need if you have a follower somewhere else, say on Facebook, and I think what you're not asking while asking the question is, should you have your Facebook follower come to you on Google+? Are you offering him something additional on Google+? Are you just copy pasting the same post? If you are, it's a bad experience, don't do it.
Okay, so what are
However, if you're offering him something more, right, which is saying in Facebook, 1 follower to 100,000 followers, everybody is the same. I don't know the difference. But on Google+, I know this is a woman, this is a guy. Let me message a woman differently and a guy differently, I'll spam them less, right? Bring them to Google+, because you're giving them a better, less spammy experience. If you were to do a hangout sometime, which is about, hey followers, I'm be available online from so-and-so time, so so-and-so time, for any conversation, consultation, might be free for initial feedback that you have, any product service complaint issues that you might have. Verizon has used this in the US for service complaint management. When you look at a large telco like that, they could have put up a huge call center infrastructure, put retail desks everywhere. They've used this to handle customer service requests. Now, if you're offering that, which is a higher degree of engagement, please ask your customers to come and engage with you over here. If not, then it doesn't make sense.
Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. So I just wanted some stats on, Google local businesses in India. You said 1 million total pages, right?
1 million total pages globally.
Globally, yeah. So could you share some stats on what's happening in India? And the second question is about users.
About?
How many active users, Google Plus users in India? Engagement time and stuff like that. And the second question is...
you already asked 2 questions. This is your third one. Go ahead. I'm keeping a count. This is a quantitative question. Is there a third question? Okay. Okay, so when was the last time you went on Google Maps?
Today.
Today? How many locations did you see over there? Buildings, businesses? Enough, I'm sure?
Yeah.
Each of them has a plus page.
Okay.
Okay. Now, whether you as a business have claimed it or not is your discretion. As Google, we have enough, we call this points of interest. We have enough poise on the map, right? I mean, Google Maps has enough information. You can find house level information if you want to. You can find most large commercial things, retail shops, restaurants, etc. Therefore, all of them exist. All of them have a plus page. As a business, have you woken up to the opportunity of what Google Maps offers to you and claimed that page, or is it just a vacant page over there? Is the difference. You can stand up and claim that page, make sure it has your right business phone number over there so that somebody can actually call you to make a reservation versus just saying, oh, I know Olive is on Pali Hills over here, but oops, I don't have a number over there to call Olive and make a reservation. Or I don't know if Olive is offering happy hours between 6 to 9, I should make sure I get over there at that time. That's the difference that you can do by claiming. So does that answer how many plus pages we have? Yeah. Okay. On engagement levels and number of users, 12 months and approximately 250 million users is what our global number is. The second highest number of users come from India. I'm not in a position to tell you the exact numbers in India, but that's just to give you a scale of the volume that we have globally on the network and what India is contributing towards it. In terms of engagement levels, have you noticed something like a small red box on top of your Gmail? Do you see it turning red and black once in a while? Do you click on it when it turns red? That's engagement. If you're in your Gmail inbox, you're on YouTube, you're on search, that red box bumps at you somewhere, you've clicked on it, you've got into Google+. it's not about visiting Google+. I started the entire session by saying it's not a destination. Please don't compare it to you have to type in googleplus.com or plus.google.com and be there. It will be with you. On your phones today, we are constantly, on every contact of mine on my Android phone, anything that happens, if Sunil puts up a post right now, next to his photograph, I have his latest post. I'm not going to googleplus.com to figure out what Sunil is saying. The information is coming to me. That's how we look at engagement. It's not about site visits. So there's a question there.
You gave the example of a bakery where suppose a business, when they're making birthday cakes, they get 500 plus ones. They move on to Valentine cakes and they still carry that 500 plus ones, which in a way is really good for the business. But how is it made sure that the users, it's not misleading for the users? Because maybe a company makes a product, scraps the product, makes a new product, carries the likes with them while it actually might not be that good as a previous product. How is it, how do you make sure that the users are not misled?
Good, that's a very good point. I mean, the point is, how are you seeing the +1? Let's come back to that. You're seeing the +1 in an ad. It's an affirmation that somebody at some point of time put their trust in this organization, right? It might not be that specific product. It could be one of the product lines. Even guys like Honda have had to bring cars back for enough replacements, right? So you want to say, oh, these guys make beautiful, awesome eggless cakes, but screwed up on their raspberry tarts. I mean, that's the reality of how we exist. But yes, if there are 500 people who've +1 eggless cake against bakery versus another one, which has got just 5, there might be a reason there. So we're just helping you find, we're not saying that this is the find. For the find, I would say, was there any recommendation by your friends who you think is a foodie, for example, over there? And if you're signed in, you'll see your friend's face, right? Then you'll automatically know that, okay, this friend of mine knows the difference between a tart and a raspberry, raspberry cake versus an eggless cake, and he said this bakery is good, this must be good. Now that friend's face coming up is one, which is a clear affirmation. If that friend's face is not there, and therefore you don't have that friend or that circle or that social graph is not appearing right now for you, then it's just a collective aggregate of individuals across the city who have placed their faith in this, and that's how it will show up. You can't game the +1, incidentally. It's a signed in thing, so don't jump next to, oh, I'll go as a user and put as many +1s as you want. You can't do that. At the back end, we ensure that you don't.
Thank you.
Question for Sandhu. You running out of time? Okay. So last 2 questions, quick.
In order to provide lot of feedback information to your business users under Google Plus and Google Analytics, I think Google collects lot of information, that is demographic information from Google users. Now it may contain lot of information. It may be personal information, photograph. So is it not governed by the data privacy laws when you publish it to your clients, or maybe publishing photograph on your website?
So let me come back. Where are we taking information which is public? We only taken your profile information. The photograph that we see over there, I'm assuming you're talking about the small faces that are appearing below, right? That's your profile information, which is public. You can choose to make your profile on Google public or private. If it's a private profile, we will not show your photograph. If you've made your profile on Google public, which means someone wants to search for you and they see your profile with that one photograph of yours, which is your profile photograph, then we will show that. We respect your privacy the way you respect it. So if you want to make sure that nobody discovers you because you want to be private, we won't show you anywhere. You'll become an anonymous +1. If you are public, then you will show it to you. Plus the photographs, etc. typically appear only if somebody is signed in and you are in that person's circle. So it's not that I will see your photograph just because you are there. It's only if you and I are on the same Google Plus circle, somewhere we are friends, that I'll see your photograph. Otherwise, you're just an aggregate +1 figure for me. There was a question behind you first, and that was this last question. What I'll do is, we go to Gibo after this. That's the second session I'm taking. And if you have time, we'll come out with more questions.
Hello, sir. My question to you is that no matter how fancy Google Plus is, but don't you think the user experience for a common layman is being more complex over here with jargons like Hangouts and circles? It's not easy for a common layman to understand what these terms actually mean for the first time. So transferring a person from Facebook, where it is very simplified, a like means you like it, comment. So it is very simplified on Facebook, and transferring a user from Facebook to Google Plus, despite the fact that Google Plus is more beneficial. the common layman gets irritated with the fact that I can't understand what it is. So how
Okay.
do you deal with it?
So first, I answered a question earlier saying you don't need to transfer from Facebook to Google Plus, right? Try and transfer only if you think you're offering something additional over here. If you're not using the power of the platform to offer something which is relevant, please don't bother moving your fan base onto Google Plus, because you're going to spam them 2 times over. That's not what the platform was designed for. The platform was designed not to spam. Coming back to ease of terms, right? I mean, 8 years ago, what was a wall for you? Was it this or was it something in the digital space? I'm sure you thought of bricks, some cement, a little bit of Dulux, Nerolac, some nice colorful thing on top of it. It wasn't a digital space thing for you. It takes time to get into lexicon. There's enough stuff that Google has which is now part of everyday speak. I don't see it to be a challenge for that to happen. Hangouts now power, outside of a few countries, Hangouts are the core powering system behind every video chat in Google Chat and Gmail. There are some 500 million people over there. Every day they see the word Hangout. How long do you think it will take them to figure out that Hangout means video chatting? Right? It doesn't take too much. So it takes a certain amount of time, because every time you come to a new platform, you pick up the Times of India versus the Indian Express, there's a font difference, right? If you've been reading the TOI since you're a kid, you're like, ish, I don't like this. That's always the first reaction. But then you really see I don't think there's going to be a challenge in terms of people understanding what a Hangout means. It's there, and over a period of time, people will figure it out. Yeah? Okay, so we're done with this session. Do we take like a 2-minute question?
Yes, what we're going to do is, I think people are very interested in questions. We're going to give them a few more chances to win some mugs. But can we have a big hand for the gentleman for that lovely session out here? Thank you. We're just going to give him about 2-3 minutes of break, but people, don't be surprised when you got some mugs. I saw a few people were like very surprised when you got the mugs. Those mugs were for people who are asking questions, and hard luck to the people who started before we started giving the mugs. But still, the questions are going to go on, and I have a few set of questions for you all, where you again can win these mugs. All you got to do is you cannot open your mouth, or you just can't throw the answers. If you know the answer, just put your hand up. I'll come up to you. And if you have a right answer, you win yourself the Google mug. Yes, sir. You already hands up. Are you waiting for the? Acha, question. Before the question, the hand is up. Lovely. All right, the question is, if you know the answer, let me tell you, just put your hand up. I'll come up to you. The first question is, how many people do you think at once can be on Hangout? Shh, 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 shh. Okay, who do I start with? The gentleman who raised his hand first, next to you. Not the person who put his, yes, the one in the corner. Yes, run, 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 run. If you want the mug, you've got to be here in 6 seconds. 6, 5, run, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think your family would love me if I meet you every day to make you run this way. All right, what's your name?
Nikhil.
Nikhil, what's the answer?
10 can join in, as in one person who's starting there, 9 others can join in, and lot others can join and hang out on air.
So, what is the answer? Just answer the question. I asked you, how many people do you think at once can be at Hangout?
10.
10. Do you want to give a specific number, how it goes?
1 can start the hangout, 9 others can join.
Perfect. 9 plus 1. Can we have a big hand for the gentleman? This is for you. Thank you. All right, we move on to our second question. And the next one is, what's the percentage of CTR increase in your Google ads if you have a G+? Yes, sir. What's your name? Come. Feel comfortable. Come here. What's your name?
I'm Mitesh Sangvi.
Mitesh Sangvi. And what is the answer?
Answer is we see a rise of 10%.
10. Okay, hold on. Anyone else? Are you sure it's 10? Okay. Anyone? If you know the answer, just put your hand up. Don't say wrong. Anyone? You know it? No. Anyone? Yes, sir. 40%. Lovely. Same. You can speak out the same answer. 10%. Okay. Yes, sir. 10 to 20. Okay. 30%. Lovely. Hanji. 10 to 40%. Great. In between, very safe. Let me be there. If they say 10 to 20, I will be somewhere there. If it's 38, I'm going to win. Lovely. Is there anyone else? 10 to 20 over, 10 to 30 ho gaya, 10 to 40 ho gaya. Yes, sir. Huh? 1 sec. 10 to 50. Safer side. This is total safe. 10.5. Okay. The reason I asked you for a perfect number was, you said 10. It's exactly not 10. It's going to be 10 plus. Yes, sir. 10.5 is 10.1 also can be plus. All right, can we have a big hand for the gentleman? And thank you. Don't worry, you get a chance to win this. All right, we have another question coming away, and that is going to be, all right, once again, how many users do you have on G Plus globally? Globally, I'm talking about globally. Yes.
250 million.
250 million. Okay. Yes, sir. 250 million plus. That's the right answer. A big hand for the gentleman. I just said plus. Is that what all about? Because it's all about Google Plus and G Plus. Thank you. Can you have a big hand for the gentleman here, everyone? One question which is not going to be related to the speaker who just spoke about the presentation. It's going to be a general, but it's still going to be about the G-Day. G-Day happened in India for the first time. I hope everybody remembers that. Yes, sir, your hand went up. Yes, sir. Huh? Sorry, I didn't get you. Speak louder. Yeah. Other G-Day. Which G-Day? Not globally, not globally. I'm talking about India. I'm just talking about India. In India, this was the first ever G-Day. Yes, sir. Hello. And once again. Huh? Yes, answer. Just answer my question. Tell me what was my question. Sorry? No, my question was, we had 5 G-Days in India. Name the places. I want you to go in an order how we started and which all places we went on. Yes, sir. I'll go to. Can I have you? Come. First and foremost, what's your name, gentlemen? Sanjay. Okay. Mr. Sanjay, how many G-Days did this time we have? Turn it around. We have the camera. Let everyone look at you. Yes. 5. Name them. Where did we start with?
Chennai.
Okay. Second.
Bangalore.
Super.
Hyderabad.
Very good.
Delhi.
Super.
And Mumbai.
And Mumbai. A big hand. I like the energy. Can we all make some noise for the gentleman out here, everyone? Thank you. That was very, very good. Thank you so much. This is for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Can we have a big hand for all the winners today? Thank you. All right, on that note, without any further ado, I'm going to bring on the gentleman once again. And this time, there's a lot more where it's all about business in India are going online. Once again, put your hands together to welcome Guneet Singh. Can you have a gentleman, everyone? Come on. People standing behind, you can clap as well. Clapping is absolutely free of cost. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. So I'm back again. This was the break in which you were allowed to take a dose if he allowed it to you. Okay, so we discussed about Google Plus, and that was one way of getting your business online. The other way, which is really the core website, because that's really where that's where the house of your business is online. How do we get that online? And this is really that session. So let's start with this. How many internet users in India? 120 million, right? We say India has a consuming class of approximately 250 million, people who can really afford to go out and consume in a decent way. That's pretty much half of those guys are online now. We're the 3rd largest internet market globally. Somebody was asking about local search queries. We asked about local places, but there's a good data point on local search queries. This is the 140% rate of growth in local search queries in India. These are people searching for restaurants, small businesses, petrol pumps, ATMs, people location-based, so stuff in Bombay, stuff in Thane, stuff down to an exact address. That's the increase that you're seeing in local queries. e-commerce, online becoming a great medium for marketing. I mean, you all know that internet's here. There's no way to sort of avoid the internet anymore. You avoid it at your own peril. The point is, how do you get online? As a small business, what do you do? Do you have enough tools? Are there companies which are ready to sort of provide tools to you which you can use at a low cost and high ROI to get your business to have an online presence and then really use it to get more customers? This is really interesting. We are, as a country, have one of the largest base of small businesses worldwide. That's the number of small businesses that exist in India. Massive. Out of this, obviously, retail and B2C is huge. That's almost half of that. But still look at the other stuff, services, manufacturing, education. Education is a big business. So a lot of these businesses are there, but not all of them necessarily have an online presence, which is what this shows us. This is the sad state of affairs. Close to 50 million small businesses and 100,000 websites. And that's the gap. It's an opportunity for people over here who make small businesses go online. And for small businesses who are here and who might not have an online presence, it just shows you have a lot before competition catches up. But the reality is there are 50 million small businesses, only 100,000 online. That's a really huge gap. And that's, start looking about it. Look at who are the businesses which have really taken the effort of being there. A bit of retail, small businesses, professional services, education, real estate in a big way, travel. So travel and real estate came because there were travel portals, real estate portals. Every small business who does travel and real estate thought we could be there. Education we've seen and again because of the amount of considered searching that happens before any education decision happens in India. Your child's education is typically the most important thing. I have two 18-month twins, and I've already started looking at school lists because 1.5 years later they have to be in a school somewhere in Gurgaon, and the waiting lists are 3 year long. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of pre-consideration that you have on things like education. It's critical for you to be there and present when someone's searching and trying to figure out, and that's why these businesses are up there. Now, we realized as Google that unless until there's enough small businesses online, the ecosystem of online being relevant to a consumer is not going to be strong enough. Right? If you want to search for educational institutes, like I said, in your vicinity, and all the schools are not online, it's not going to serve your purpose. Or if you're trying to search, like I mentioned sometime earlier, on something obtuse like rubber sort of rings for water pumps for agriculture, you need to find somebody who can give you that. That person or that business should be online. And so we've gone about this journey of trying to get businesses online. And this is not just for markets like India. It's in the US too. We've gone state-wise in the US into every state and looked at small businesses there and see how they could come online. And so across 22 countries, this activity is something that Google's been pushing, trying to get small businesses to see how the internet can work for them. In India, we launched in November 2011. And the interesting thing was, in 30 days, 30,000 businesses used the program that we had launched to come online. Now look at the size I mentioned. There were 100,000 websites that existed. And then in 30 days, 30% added more. That's the velocity of online presence that happened once the program launched. So what's this program all about? Can I see a small video on this, please?
Imagine your business without a phone. These days, having a website for your business is just as important as your phone. Imagine how many customers are missing you and how many customers you are missing just because you're not online. India, it's time to get your business online. That's why Google and HostGator have come together to get Indian businesses online, because going online will help customers find you easier and faster. IndiaGetOnline.in provides you a free website with a .in domain name and hosting, free email addresses, free telephone support, plus other tools and resources to help you succeed online and help customers find you. There's no cost, no time, no trouble, and it's just 3 easy steps. So, whether you're a tours and travels operator, manage a retail business, run a school, or are into medical equipment, going online is the best thing for your business. Ready to get your business online? Get your free website today in just 3 easy steps at www.indiagetonline.in.
I think what it just basically said was exactly what I'm saying. The people looking out for you. If you're not there, you're missing out on that business. It's time to be online. And there's a very simple way that you can get online now with the Get India Business Online program that we launched last year. In a summation, what do we offer? We offer you a free domain with a .in extension. So as a small business, even if it's a small $10, $8 charge that you might have, you don't have to incur that cost. You're experimenting, you don't know. There's a lot of apprehension in times, people who, when they go online the first time, is it worth the investment? Should I even put 500 rupees or 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees, whatever it is? Should I even invest that amount on it? Should I invest the time it takes to go online? There's huge amount of apprehension. We're saying, let's take care of all of those. Get online because you'll start seeing the returns of that coming in once you're there. If you're not there, you won't know what the value of it is. So you get your free domain. You get a free website. You get hosting for 12 months. You get phone support. So it's not like a standard web hosting system where you just go and put a website up and you want to figure something out and oops, there's no help. And you have to find an agency and you start incurring costs to get online. It's got phone support. It's got people who can help you set your website up. It gives you analytics. It gives you email. So on that domain that you have, you can now start getting professional email. How many visiting cards have @Hotmail, @Gmail behind those? Wouldn't you prefer a more professional email ID? Because that's like your online identity when you give somebody a visiting card. Why do people have visiting cards? To present an identity of theirs. And then you take time in spending and making a nice logo, you figure out what the paper quality of the card is, at the bottom line and end of it, you will not even have a personalized email address. That's sad. And that's where the experience starts getting broken. And that's as a small thing as that can be taken care of by something like this. And there are other partner products. I mean, there are a lot of partner products, partners with us who are offering great, fantastic offers to small businesses because they believe that their services will be relevant. And those also come into the domain. So it's a really simple program. It's not complicated. Just make sure that you have your first online presence. You figure out how it helps you, gives your business a more professional touch online, and lets you see whether you want to continue with that after 12 months of using it. This is really what the goals of the project for us are. 500,000 businesses online. So from 100,000 in India has 5x that, multiply that by 5 and make sure that 500,000 of the businesses are online in the next 3 years. And that's really the entire objective. If we have that amount of momentum in the market, we know if your competitor is there, the tendency for you to be there is also quite high. And that's one of the reasons that we're looking at making sure that there's enough critical base for us to get online. This is just a quick check. Like I told you, the first 30 days was 30,000 websites. Obviously, there was a lot of pent-up demand which sort of came quickly. And then as the program's gone by over the next 4 to 6 months, we've got 100,000 new websites, and every day there is new signups happening. We've got some 7,850 cities from which these websites have come. So it's not about a business in Bombay or a business in Hyderabad or a business in Bangalore. We've had business from really, really small cities coming up and putting up an online presence and seeing traffic come to their websites. These are the verticals which some of you might be interested in as to which are the verticals which have seen a high adoption of websites. Computer, education, agriculture. We never even dreamt of this. And you see it right in the top 4 verticals over there. There are enough agriculturists who are going online and putting up their fairs. There's organic stuff that's suddenly booming up. There's farm produce. Those are websites that are being created and being put up there in a big way. And really, how do you get this started? I think we should have a quick video over there. I just want to spend 5 minutes more on how to get this started, and then we'll sort of do a Q&A on this session if there's any carrying over the last session to get into this. So there are 3 easy steps. I think there's a video here which sort of exemplifies the 3 steps. If you could just play that video. It's really simple. Get your domain. Make sure that you go online. There's lots of templates. You don't have to figure out whether you want to have you want to make a website, whether you want a picture on the left, right. All that brain work's been sort of taken care of. There's lots of templates. Choose what you think represents your business, your identity best. Put in a couple of lines of copy, one odd picture, and you're up and ready to go. It's as simple as that. And the way we're creating the websites ensures that they're easy to index. They've got the social plugins, etc., all built in, so that you can immediately set up your Google Plus page on the site. You can cross-verify them, and you're ready to go. So just a quick reminder, just get your domain, fill a form. It's a really simple form, actually. It's pretty much as simple as a Gmail form. It doesn't take more than that, except for the PAN card and so forth. And then the simple template to go get going. This is some of the websites which we have seen coming up in India. These are not assisted by us. They're just people who went online, created some websites. These are some of the images we really liked, so we just put them up. There's jewelry, and then there's this interesting mart in Dehradun. There's obviously the education, and like I said, the agriculture websites, right? There's interesting ones on those which are coming up. So that's really the Get Internet Business Online. This is one of our first and early adopters, and I thought we'll share with you what he has to say about this entire initiative and how he felt about it. And after this, we'll get into questions on how to get your business online, if you have multiple presences, how to manage that, and so forth. Can you have the video, please?
We started this company about 12 years back and started on a very low note. We kept on adding more machines, from printing to packaging to die cutting. I have a whole team, but still I'm doing marketing all alone. So as the pressure of business is increasing day by day, I need more people or anything else to upgrade my marketing. So I had so many ideas from different people, from my friends, from my family, regarding a website. But then again, being a human, I had to think again. There were so many questions in my mind. Who will run it? How will I pay? I thought it was so expensive, as I used to discuss with people. Who will update it? Who will run it? And I thought it was so cumbersome. My search ended when I came to know about India. Get Business Online by Google. It was easy, it was free, a lot of staff support, and of course, online in no time. I've been a cricketer throughout my life. Used to play from school first, then of course my club, then of course Delhi. Delhi was my market, then India was my market. Now probably after having a website, I personally feel I'll be an international player. World is my market now.
So that's the Get India Online program. I hope if there are any of you who don't have an online presence, they go back today and they type in this URL. Make sure that you have your own you have your own domain, you have your own website up in the next 24 hours, and start getting your businesses going. So that's really the program I wanted to talk about. If there's any questions around this program, if there's any carryover questions from other things, or just about anything about businesses going online, I'm happy to have the discussion.
First of all, for this particular presentation, the email IDs what we can get, can that be configured to Microsoft? Or we have to go online every time to check emails?
So can you configure your Gmail into your Outlook?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's it. And regarding Google Plus, it's a very in-depth topic. Do you have tutorials on website?
Yes, so if you go to google.com/plus/learn more,
okay,
you can find everything that you want.
So whatever we have learned today, probably, okay, thank you.
You'll find most of it there. So we had a question up here from the gentleman.
What you're offering is a basic website kind of thing. In the next 4-6 months, you want to have a full-fledged e-com site or whatever. That's possible.
Absolutely. See, like I said, we're just helping you form your initial basic website, because we believe there's still a lot of apprehension.
Yes.
And people don't want to risk that first move online.
True.
This is like the first steps a child makes.
Yes.
If you made that step and you think you're ready to run,
yeah,
please take the website. You can make it fully e-commerce enabled. You want to take these basic pictures out, make it flash, add video, do whatever. That's completely in your hands.
So, but that again, health support would come from you, or we need to have another professional?
So we don't have an e-commerce gateway. that's currently available, but HostGator can help you with that.
Okay, great.
There was a question behind from the gentleman, and then we'll come back right now.
Are those sites are completely templated, or we can have a custom design? Plus, do you have any marketplace available for this website? I mean, if somebody is not, I mean, not like Khosla, and he want to just give this to somebody else, but it should be under the trusted network of Google, like the marketplace which we have. Is this any marketplace available for this?
So I didn't get that question. Can you just come back on that?
Like this Khosla ad you have demonstrated. Now anyone can design this website or develop this website, but not everyone. So do you recommend some developers or designers? Do those have a marketplace? I mean, no, this is the people that Google trusts, and you can go and talk to them and have this website developed.
So we don't have a network of coming. So I think what I'm really asking is that while we've put templates up there, you think some businesses might.
You will ask that one, what are the charges which they are going to pay in the next year? First year it is free, whether for the hosting or for the names, this thing which we are taking that.
So I think we've got everything in the FAQs over there. Yeah. Depending on if you've kept the basic standard thing, then the charges the next year are very nominal. I don't think they cross $1,000-1,200 a year. So
in the FAQ also I had seen nothing has mentioned there. It will be nominal, that is the word.
It is, because it's a very small charges which are there for the hosting of the site, which HostGator will put forward. It's nothing which is, it's not going to be very significant as a cost to the business. There is no charge for email.
No, suppose any particular area we had taken, for example, Ghatkopar. So in Ghatkopar, how many stores are there? Suppose one person has taken initiative and collected the information and put that one on the net.
Yes.
Itself. They can open the websites for this, these restaurants or whatever small business institutes.
Sure, yes.
Is it okay? Because you are asking that one PAN number.
So my point is this. Who do you want to create an online presence for? Let's start with that. And what's your relationship with the owner of the business? If the owner of the business has asked you to make a presence for them, then please go ahead and you'll have all the information that is relevant, like the PAN, TAN, etc., whatever that's required, right? If you are just socially wanting to make sure that
is the thing,
the businesses which are there, and these are largely B2C businesses, have a presence, I would recommend that you look at Google Maps and first see if they're visible on Maps. If they're not visible on Maps, we have a community map making initiative called MapMaker, in which you as a user can go and add anything. You can, if you believe there's a hospital in your colony which is not visible on Google Maps, you can go add that hospital, you can go add that blood bank, you can go add a restaurant of your choice. As soon as they get visible on map, they have a Google Plus presence, and then that's what they can use, or that's what will be available for consumers to see and discover.
But you don't give that much freedom which website is having.
But who's going to manage the website? My point is, if the business is not involved in it, who's managing the website? If you are not involved with the business, then you're representing a business without that business's consent, right? Which is not appropriate. If you create a map maker position, then it's just a milestone over there. You haven't claimed that. You can't claim it. I as a person today can say, okay, this expo for Bombay and 3 retail outlets outside were not marked on Google Maps. I believe I want this to be marked on Google Maps. I feel passionately about it. So I will go and mark it. But I don't own those locations.
Is the person who is taking, suppose for a medical shop, for example, chemist. So he has opened his website, that is there, according to this thing. So he will get his AdSense and AdWords, all these things freely. So, thank you.
In fact, get an AdWords credit after you open a website. There's an AdWords credit of I think 2,500 rupees which you get to start even your first AdWords cycle. So basically we're saying that your online presence and whatever it takes to get you online, we're just making sure that the trials don't cost you. Once you've tried it, you will know whether AdWords works for you, whether it doesn't work for you, whether you don't want to do any advertising, you just want to do stickering on, say it's a delivery, say it's a restaurant. A sticker on their delivery order or the takeaway bag could be a big thing for them, much more than a lot of other things, right? So then we really let it to you as a business to what works for you. So there was a question from the gentleman here long back.
It's a simple question. Actually, if I have already subscribed for a domain, can I use this service?
Yes.
Yes?
This question there first, sorry. I'm trying to follow a sequence, but I don't think after this I remember what the sequence was.
My domain could be in .com also?
Under this program, it's .in.
No, I'm saying I have already subscribed for a domain. separately?
You can use a templated website, yes.
Okay.
So, if I am getting the domain, after that, I wanted to change my domain name. Is it possible or not?
In what? So against one PAN number, you've found a domain.
If I am getting the domain, after that, when I am getting the domain, after that, I wanted to change my domain name. So, is it possible on that case?
Then you're registering for a new domain,
Okay.
which you can. Okay, so we do 3 more questions. Okay, 3 more questions. I've been given a time check.
Is there any restriction on the number of pages or MB, means uploading size and updating?
I think you can have more than 50 plus pages or something. I don't think there is a restriction which any regular business will feel from running this. Yeah, if Make My Trip wants to come and use it, they'll have a problem. Okay. But I'm assuming everybody else will be fine.
Hi, first of all, nice initiative by Google. So since you provide .in domain to start with for 1 year, after 1 year we need to purchase that domain, right? And I know that the domain prices change a lot. Like .in was 100 rupees 1 year back, now it's $450. So it is around, sorry? At some places 99, some places they have increased. So
Sure.
whereas if we buy it 3 years right upfront now, then we might be having a better deal now itself. So how do you?
You know, sometimes like some of these questions I really start seeing as a business.
Right.
How much do you spend on 1 pack of visiting cards? Is it really relevant? I mean, 100 rupees to 300 rupees. This is your online house.
Right.
Are you even bothered about 200 rupees?
No, I'm not. But like
So,
in
you know,
general,
that's my point. It's not the
not
domain is
mentioned,
not going to go from 100 rupees to 10,000 rupees.
Okay.
It's never going to happen. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Okay.
So I don't see really. If you think 200 rupees is a business is a price elasticity, is a business you can't absorb, then you really need to rethink
and
about
also,
whether you
like,
should be online.
we don't really know the hosting price as of now. Like FAQ just mentions about a nominal price.
And it
but
is nominal.
That can also
like I said, it is
increase.
nominal. I don't think it will be anything more than whatever you would ever spend on promotion in a year that you would put in a month that you'd have spent on a year for over here. Okay. It'll be really nominal. I don't think it'll be crossing more than
But
20.
there's no such promise as such from.
So like I
Google.
said, nominal for us would not. You know, we wouldn't put a cost of 20,000 rupees a month and call it nominal. That won't happen. Our objective is to keep businesses online. It's not to get them online and then ask them to jump off the next year, right? So we have a lot of people who've done dead pages, you know, who've blocked the domain and have put a very scanty piece of information over there. You can do that. What will happen is it will not get indexed. So our search engines will not index that and it will completely not show up. So if you're just blocking the domain, you could do it for a year and after that anyhow you'll have to pay. One more question after this, yeah.
On the same hosting, can we host dynamic pages as well?
No, I think that would require an upgrade and then upgrade options are available.
Okay, then it'll cost. Thank you.
This is the last question. Sorry, I'll be available after this so we can have a chat up face to face.
I made 2-3 websites on HostGator. It's been almost a couple of months back. So I just want to know that if I want to shift to other service, so will you give me the site code and the database per se?
So after a year, for example, you don't have to stay with HostGator. You're happy to move out. You own the web. You own the web content and the domain.
Okay,
so you're
say
happy to
if
sort of
I
take it out.
don't stay for an year on
I
that
think you should
free.
be able to. I don't have the specific answer for that right now. I can check with the guys who run the program plumbing. But I think you should be able to. We don't want to gate you into the program. It's your choice. Essentially, once you've come online, you've tried and tested it, you want to scale up, you want to shift out, you want to drop off, that's completely open in your hands. Our initiative's job really is to make sure that if you were sitting on the fence saying, should I be online? Oh, it takes too much to get online. We just help you get online. After that, it works for you, keep it. Doesn't work for you, drop it. Works really well for you, scale it into a larger operation. Go from a brick and mortar to an e-com company if it works for you. That's completely in your hands.
Thank you.
So sorry, I'll take a question afterwards. I've been told I'm really running behind time and the sessions are late. Thank you so much. I hope you had an interesting conversation with me on how to get your business online. And I will see you again in some time, so I'll bore you once more.